But for some reason, I've been seeing a whole lot of conversation lately about Drake and does he have a classic album? Now, this ain't a new conversation, of course. And for someone who a lot consider to be one of the greatest artists ever, it's a valid conversation. Now, I got a few clips. A couple of them coming from Math Hoffa, and he's talking to Rory Mal. Then I got some responses from people like Glasses. I think I seen somewhere where Academics was saying Drake is pushing back Iceman. I don't know. I really didn't end up watching that clip, but either way, these conversations remind me of conversations you have when somebody's either way past their prime on a downswing or like pretty much out of the game. It does seem that way, but as far as I'm concerned, I have liked some of Drake's songs over the years, but I've never sat and listened to a whole album. So for me, a classic album, I really can't judge because none of them are that to me. I just like certain songs here and there. But I'm sure a lot of y'all feel the same way. But look, let's get right into this.
Here for a second. You can't do that anymore.
It's technique, bro. It's technique. And I'm gonna tell
technique
you. I'm gonna tell you why.
Because that's the big three. And they're the only ones that have come close to even doing the album.
You know who keeps taking the Grammy for best rap album?
Lady Gaga.
Because when you because when you play it, when you play it start to finish, it's intertwined. It's a story. It feels like a body of work. Like some albums are like watching a movie.
Okay, was Good Kid, Mad City?
When you get to the end of it, you're like,
was Good Kid,
Mad City? Some albums are like scrolling on Instagram. Mm-hmm. That's crazy shit. Oh, what the f is this? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't intertwine. It doesn't make you feel like this is a 60-minute listening experience. Some people are like, all right, I got 3 hits on this. I'm gonna just throw mad filler in between the shit. Yep. And it doesn't hit.
So you feel like that about Drake?
Yes. I feel like Drake in a way follows the Jay-Z formula of making albums, but he hasn't had his blueprint.
No, man. Drake don't follow the Jay-Z formula. I don't think he follows the Jay-Z formula of making albums. I see what Math Hoffa is saying, right? But I think this classic conversation too is it got a huge subjective part to it. It does. Because he's saying a theme that runs through the whole album and it's like watching a movie. But for some people, to them, that's not necessarily what makes a classic album. Some people is just having a bunch of slaps. And if this one album, for the most part, got slaps, to them, it's a classic. So I think it's subjective. So you got to kind of like set your parameters of what you're going to consider a classic album. But I don't think that he's taking Jay-Z's blueprint without making his quote unquote blueprint, only because for the most part, Jay-Z has been the type to me. Now, look, I haven't listened to every single Jay-Z work. I'm not a huge Jay-Z fan, but for the most part, his albums have more of a theme or thematic aspect to it than Drake's has. Drake's is really literally just trying to make hits. There's no necessarily theme to it. There's no storyline. It really ain't. This person said he don't take care is 100% a classic. He also heard So Far Gone because it's everything he just said. He's also never heard Views. But that don't mean it's a classic to him either, though. Outside of Take Care, Nothing Was the Same wasn't classic. Look, I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but come on now. Just be saying. Now, we know Mal wasn't going to go for that. He probably was fuming in his seat, but let's listen to this.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm still stuck on you don't think Drake has a classic album. But that's crazy to me.
I don't know.
The rest of the room feel like that too?
Who? What's the classic?
Nothing Was the Same was a classic album.
Yeah.
What's the classic?
Okay, but see, y'all not saying what's yours.
Nothing Was the Same.
Take Care, Nothing Was the Same.
I'm not a big fan.
Okay.
I think he's super talented.
It's not Toes, what's your favorite Drake album?
No.
Okay.
He has some hot songs, but I don't
Yes, I
know.
agree.
Album, hell no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. See?
Damn. Okay.
I think he's a good actor.
Some songs.
All right. What's
There's a time.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's a lot of I wouldn't say negative energy, but that wasn't as I don't think that was as that went as well as Maul would have liked it to go.
There's a lot of artists who probably kind of missed the whole concept of the album. And they make a compilation instead of making an album, a body of work that's in sync, that kind of like twists and turns, but it's all connected. Not many people, that's like a missing art nowadays.
Okay, but
Drake don't have a classic.
What?
He don't have a classic, bro.
Nothing just sat here and told me
nothing
that
was the same.
Jadakiss got 3 classic albums, and now you're telling me
nothing was the same
that Drake don't have
nothing was the same as the classic album.
But
Take Care?
Take Care is next.
Classic start to finish.
But Meth, I think that's so unfair too of the era that they were in. They couldn't even concentrate on doing that because post.
Rory about to say something that makes absolutely no sense, but you can have a classic song that doesn't make a classic album. So like, for instance, if there's, say Drake got 20 songs, let's say off them 20, you might say like 3 of them was like classic joints. That don't make the whole album classic. You know what I'm saying? That don't make the whole album classic. You might have 3 joints that was classic. You might have 3 or 4 or 5 that's like, all right, those is all right. You know, and then the rest is just like filler. That a classic album? I don't know, man. I think people take a couple classic songs and they'll make the whole album classic.
2000 concentrate on doing that because post 2005, 6, dog, you were in the volume game.
But
you had to do mixtape. Bro, Kendrick has 6 mixtapes. Like, he was in the era that he was in. That's so unfair to even put that on artists like Drake, Kendrick, Cole, and in that time. It's different than when you were big, Pac, Nas, Jay. You could just disappear for a second. You can't do that anymore.
It's technique, bro. It's technique. And I'm going to tell you why.
Because that's the big 3. And they're the only ones that have come close to even doing the album.
You know who keeps taking the Grammy for Best Rap Album?
All right, now let's check this clip out right here.
I feel like so much of our culture is it's pent on conflict and drama. And
I can't give that.
It's almost like when 2 boxers are gonna fight, right? And then that one box is talking that shit, and the other one's just quiet.
But I can't respect that.
Just whip your ass.
I can't respect that because that's not Drake's nature either. Drake is supposed to be the light-skinned corny kid from
Drake's nature.
He's not aggressive. He's not trying to get in the
guy that's always at the URL battles. It's not his nature.
No.
Come on, man. How is he not aggressive, bro? The guy disses women. He sends shots at women. You can call it passive aggression. You can call it what it wants. It's still aggression, bro.
Are you talking about somebody that's you're talking about somebody that's a fan of the culture and the art. I'm talking about it's not in his nature. He's not aggressive. He's not disrespectful. He don't just start shit with
very disrespectful.
What do you mean?
But that was a battle though. I'm talking about away from those moments.
The industry hates this nigga because he's very disrespectful.
He's half an R&B singer.
Yes.
But, hold up.
Yes.
Disrespectful though.
It's very
disrespectful on the records though.
As far as what though?
He don't not just talk disrespectful. He walks disrespectful. He'll invite your girl.
You type of attitude.
Half of anything ain't none. MC Hammer was dancing his whole career.
It was a cold gangster.
Exactly.
It was a cold gangster.
Drake,
I'm just saying, like,
Drake has never struck me as the person that don't want the problem.
No, he's never
struck me as that.
Cole didn't strike me as that person either.
Y'all about to make me defend Drake.
Oh man, these guys, bro.
That's why you fat. I left condoms on your baby seat. Yes. Like Drake.
Y'all are talking about when the battle is already
all of a sudden it's not culture when Drake does it.
Y'all are talking about when the
Drake everybody's now all of a sudden it's not culture because Drake do it.
I didn't say it was the culture.
He didn't say it wasn't culture. He talking about being aggressive. Ain't nobody said Rory trying to change the conversation. So yeah, no, Drake is aggressive. He don't got to say it outright like a Tupac or whatever, but he does it in every song towards somebody. Yeah, it could be passive aggressive, but it's still aggressive. Like that's a whole different argument as far as nobody said it wasn't culture.
Why can't?
Like, what
This
the
is the
fuck?
culture?
You talking about
culture?
You talking about when the battle's on already, bro. I'm not talking about that. Because what you were saying is that's not Cole's nature to be this aggressive guy that wants issues, wants problems.
Yeah, nah.
But that's not Drake's nature either. He's supposed to be the corny kid from Canada.
No.
I don't think it's gangster in Canada.
I don't get that.
I think Canada is just maple syrup and
I don't get that. I remember Drake talking about battling Mook in Toronto and all. I never got that.
Yeah, but Cole talked the same way. Yo, you don't want it with me. I'm the crop duster. I spray this shit up. All of this shit. That was Cole. For years he was telling us this. So when the battle was on, I was like, oh, shit, we finally gonna see the kid that been talking like this from Fayetteville for years. That's all I'm saying. So when we had the opportunity, I get what you're saying.
Right.
If your heart's not in it, back out. Right? Cool.
Right.
But then why tell me for years that your heart is in it? And that nobody better not fuck with you.
And then here comes Kendrick.
And then here comes Kendrick, and you have a phone conversation with him.
Yeah, with the invitation.
Let me get 5 of those Wolf tickets.
Yeah, and you disappear. I can't respect, again, not taking nothing away from, and I only speak like that because of how much I respect Cole's pen.
Right.
And listening to him over the years, I'm like, this rap his ass off. But like in the moment,
heart. It takes a lot of heart.
We understand in a battle, it takes different things. I get that.
No. I'm saying it takes a lot of heart for him to publicly admit, I don't want to do this shit. He could have easily been peer pressured into that direction.
Okay.
Well, he was already peer pressured. Let's not forget that. That's why he dropped the track in the first place.
So now, what does that mean for the rest of his career? Is he allowed to talk slick? Is he allowed to talk crazy about any other rappers? Is he allowed to?
Yeah.
He's still allowed to?
Yeah.
See how y'all crazy.
Yeah.
I can't jack that.
Because hopefully he'll find somebody and his heart will be in it.
now you picking and choosing. Now you picking and choosing. I can't get with that.
You know what I mean?
Don't smack the little skinny kid in the class, and then when the big the linebacker from the varsity team come in the lunchroom, you tuck your tail.
J. Cole is taller than both of them.
Yeah, but his heart. Where's his heart at? Where's his heart at?
His heart was not in the battle. One. I think that we do have to there has to be an example of don't let these people pressure you into the beef if you don't want to be in that.
Just because you don't back down, just because you back down don't mean that you can't.
It don't mean you soft. We
talking about rapping. I'm not talking about fighting.
No, but it's character. We're talking about character.
You're not talking about nobody.
I'm not talking about getting pushed in their face. I'm talking about bars. I'm talking about going in the booth and standing on your pen. Like, nigga, I'm better than all you niggas.
You want to say the same thing about me?
About Meek what?
You say the same thing about Meek.
What Meek didn't do?
Back in down when Drake came out, he ain't come back hard like he used to. He was a battle.
No, Meek respectfully got washed, but Meek showed up to the ring.
Yeah, but Meek didn't apologize. Meek didn't go on stage at Power Festival.
I would never look at a rapper bad that they showed up.
We've never seen that before. I don't know. We all from the 70s, 80s, 90s in here. That's not we.
Yeah, Cole ain't gonna never live that down, yo. Putting the control verse aside, just think about how this battle started. J. Cole and Drake decided to get on a song together, which they handed an invitation to Kendrick, and Drake even tried to squash it with Kendrick. Kendrick had that much pent-up hate and jealousy. Crazy. No, it ain't that simple. I love when they try to do this, though, this aspect of it, that, Drake was extending the olive branch, and he was just trying to be buddy. No, that's not what that was. And I'm not even about to get into that again, because we already talked about this 1,000 times. If Drake is unproblematic, explain him going off on Kendrick in that deleted 2014 ESPN interview. That's what started everything after he was butthurt from the control verse getting attention. Drake sneak diss women and rappers. His fans just make excuses for him to look like the victim. So no, he's nothing like J. Cole. LOL. J. Cole is alone with this one. Nice try, Maul. Now, Glasses Malone commented on this conversation. I don't know if he was talking about the video, but he said, honestly, I don't listen to enough pop music to judge if Drake has a classic album. I don't know his impact on that genre. His impact is that you talk about him every single day is enough to prove it. No, that's not it. All I ever said about Drake was he is in hip hop. That's not negative, just accurate. That's pretty much all he said. Drake definitely mainly makes pop music, but you can't ignore the impact on hip hop. Nothing Was the Same is definitely a hip hop classic. Take Care is a pop classic. I mean, that was a entertaining conversation. For me, Drake has songs that I like. I've never listened to no whole album, so I can't say he has a classic album because I don't know. He's just never been the type of artist I can sit and listen to a whole album. But I'm not mad if someone says he has one or two. Now we all know what Kendrick feels about this. He said, "Classic, you don't have one." Right? So we know what he think, and I think he probably coming from the aspect of you use people to get where you at as far as people writing, people doing this and that. So you didn't produce that. You might have got on there saying, which in hip hop, yes, that means something. In pop, not necessarily, because all pop artists probably got somebody doing writing or doing something for them, right? So it's kind of like accepted. Same thing as R&B, but we're talking about hip hop, so that's more along the lines of that, man. It's funny because I always thought Math Hoffa was like a staunch Drake fan. I don't know why I thought that, man. Wasn't he like riding for Drake during the battle? Am I wrong on that? I can't remember. I could have swore he was like staunchly Drake. So for him to say Drake has no classics, I didn't see that one coming. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one.